I love working with shellfish. The taste is so salty. Just imagine an oyster on half a shelf. You just shuck it, or you just make it an oyster Rockefeller. You can do scallops, you can fry it, you can bake it, you can stuff it. Just think of a souffle with king crab. You can do anything with shellfish. Scallops, they're part of the shellfish family. You have some in the shelf, just like this, that have the roe with it. You have some big diver scallops or some bay scallops right here. Every time you have a scallop, you have to take this muscle out here. This is like rubber. You can just discard it. On the little baby ones, there's not even a muscle, so just leave it like that. In this pot right here, I have some melted butter. Thank you. And some button mushrooms with onions. I'm just sautéing this just until it melts down. I don't want any color. A little bit of salt and a little pepper. A little squirt of lemon. Now this needs to cook slowly. All right. You see right here, this is actually a very beautiful aroma. It's very sweet from the onion. I add a little bit of Chardonnay and my fresh scallops, and I'm letting this cook here. Not too long, because the scallops don't really take that long. You see this? There's lots of juice here, but you're not throwing this away. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. All right. So to this, because we're making croquettes, you need to have as little moisture as possible. Like, this smells incredible. It smells like the ocean. It's like being at the beach. Okay, now this wonderful liquid here, never throw it out. I put it on a burner and I'm gonna let this reduce. I'm gonna add a little bit of cream. Why not? For a little richness. Just like that, you let this reduce. And in the fruit processor, now we're making the actual croquette appareil. So I'm just dumping everything right in. A little bit of Gruyere cheese. This is actually a cheese that's almost, it has a lot of acidity and it's very, very fresh. It's from Switzerland, actually, from cow's milk, whole cow's milk. You can use Emmental if you have it. You remember our little sauce that we put some cream? You let it reduce until it almost 2 tablespoons, just to intensify the flavors. And you add it to your mixture just like that. Some nice breadcrumbs, and we blend it. This is ready. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome, Chef.
Tom brought me a clean bowl. There you go. I'm putting this with saran wrap on top. I'm leaving just a little space because it's still hot. Can you take this to the fridge?
Yes, Chef.
Thank you. It needs to cool down because we need to have, see, I'll show you the difference here. It needs to cool so it gets a little bit firmer here. Just like that. You see? It's a little firmer and we'll be able to shape our croquettes way better that way. Okay. Now to make our croquettes, we need an anglaise batter. So flour, egg yolks, and breadcrumbs. Just like that. This is the fancy tool here to make croquettes. So here's a cool trick. You see this bowl of water here? It's hot water. You take the spoons out of the hot water, and that way you get a cleaner cut on your canals. So you shake, shake, shake like this. It's very fragile, so just dip it in the egg yolks like that. You see that? Obviously it changes the shape of the croquette here, but don't worry, you can reshape them at the end. And then you just sprinkle like this with a little bit of breadcrumbs that have been toasted before. So now we have our croquettes. All we need to do, guys, is cook them. And we could do the bechamel sauce after.
Okay, Chef.
Once you made the croquettes, you need to think of a sauce. You made the croquettes, you bake them, now you make a bechamel sauce. This is actually a perfect match. A bechamel sauce by itself is a little bland, but if you add cayenne or a little chives or any other flavorings like this, it just is a perfect combination with the croquettes. You remember the scallops we made before, the quenelles? Well, now we're ready to cook them and make the sauce for them. I have some clarified butter right here. I'm just taking the salt part on top right out. And right here we have the beautiful butter. You see the white on the bottom? This is actually the milk solid right here. We don't want that. It's actually gonna caramelize the scallops way too much. Like the benefits for clarified butter is actually a higher smoke point and almost a nutty flavor that it's going to give to the scallops. So you just place them right here in there. Tom, can you tend to this? Because we just want a crust on the outside.
Okay, chef.
All right, now our bechamel sauce here. What the heck is a bechamel sauce anyway? Well, it's one of these French classic sauces. We start with butter. And then we just add a little bit of flour. So we have some butter and onions right here actually. Then I'm adding some pepper, some salt, and equal parts of flour, equal parts butter flour. So I'm just shaking this in like this. You see it's all clumping up. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Now the reason why I'm doing this is actually I want to cook the flour so it's not a paste in your mouth. So there's 3 stages to a roux. You can have a clear roux, you can have a medium or a black, almost black roux. This will take just a medium, which is right here. I'll show you right there. You see this? It's just a little bit brown. And if you were to taste this right now, it would actually, let me just check. It actually tastes like nuts, like roasted almonds. It's very good. And it's just by caramelizing the flour that you get that taste. So to this roux, which is actually very hot right now, you add hot milk. And you wouldn't add hot cream because it's too rich in fat. So you see how I'm only adding a little bit and I'm taking the whisk. This is to avoid any lumps or anything, but you see how much it just thickens really fast here. And that's the whole purpose of a roux. You want the thickening power of the flour. So you need to add more milk. I'm actually going to add it all. Now if you feel a little bit more lumps, you can go with a wooden spoon and just get all the corners like this. So this, of course, you need to cook it and cook the flour off, just to cook the flavor of the flour off and let the salt just shine through it. This is cooking, and you see here, it doesn't take long to thicken. And you get this really, really luscious sauce here. Now, you don't always want onions or anything in your bechamel, so I'm just going to strain it. You could leave it on, there's no problem with that. And here's a cool trick. If you want to strain it, you take a ladle and you just push it out like that. You see how easy it is? Now, bechamel is one of the mother sauces in cooking. If you add, for example, a little bit of white wine and an egg yolk, you get a velouté. And it's one of these sauces that is a great accompaniment to fish or anything like that, actually. So to this, I will add a little bit of lemon. Just like that, a little chives for color, why not? And that's our sauce. It's simple, right? All right, let's see if our quenelles are cooked. Okay. Nice plate. Wonderful. You eat with your eyes, remember that. A little bit of sauce on the bottom. You can put as much as you want to. I'm a little piggy in the kitchen, so.
Here you go, chef.
Thank you. Beautiful. See that, how crusty that is? That's exactly what I'm looking for. It's like a little pocket. If you cut into it, it actually, all the moisture will come out and it'll be very fantastic, in my opinion anyway. There you go. We have it. We should try this. You should try too. You see how it's all, I mean, juicy, yummy inside? This is exactly what we're looking for. An exterior crust and all moist inside.
So moist inside.
It's good, huh?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Very good, chef. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well,
Cheers.
to a wonderful croquette day.
Thank you very much.
In the bechamel sauce, you use milk instead of cream for tempering, simply because of the fat content of cream. Too fatty, even 18%, it won't work. It'll actually clump up and make like, you know, wallpaper glue or something like that. So you need milk for sure. What is this? It's a beautiful king crab leg. I'll show you how to make a shrimp and crab leg souffle. Now you don't have to be afraid of a souffle. It's actually, sometimes it's known as the cook's worst nightmare, but I'll show you how easy it is. So you just whack the king crab leg like this, and you take all this nice meat right out. Now to this, I'm adding some shrimps that I've just almost melted in butter. I mean melted because I just want the color to come out, but not really cook it all the way through because it will cook in the oven after. So just like this, I need some tarragon and pepper. I'll grab your pepper, Eric. Thank you. All right, some beautiful roasted peppers that'll actually almost bring a smoky flavor to this souffle dish. And the tarragon, you know, licorice and seafood, shellfish, it's the perfect match. I'm just incorporating all the flavors in here. A little salt, a little pepper. It's kind of a funky color too, isn't it? There you go. Eric, can you put this in a bowl for me?
Hi, chef.
Thanks. Okay, remember we did bechamel sauce? Well, same thing here. This is another base of a souffle. It's actually the mixture. You want the roux for a bechamel sauce and also the egg whites. So I'm taking it to exactly the same stage as we did for the croquettes. The only difference this time, I'm adding a little bit of cayenne pepper. Give it a little kick here. A little bit of white wine. It's a good match if you can find something like a Gewürztraminer or Riesling. And of course our milk. All right. This bubbles up, it cooks, and you see we have exactly the same thing. Beautiful velvety sauce here. Okay. Now what's different about this one is I'm actually adding egg yolks, of course raw egg yolks, right in it. But the trick here is to do it really, really fast or else it'll scramble. Because there's so much heat in the sauce right now that you don't want this to scramble, obviously. Very good. Now to the mixture that I had done in the RoboCoupe, I simply add a little sauce. Thank you. All right. Now for the fluffy part of the souffle here. You mix all this nice sauce in. Now here's a cool trick. You take half of the whites right in, and this is to make it more fluffy, more airy. So you just folded it very, very gently. Just like this. And now you can dump all the rest in. There you go. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Okay. You see how much air there is into this? Like, that's amazing, but that's actually going to cook in the oven. Okay. So this mixture, you put in a ramekin right here. I have a ramekin that's buttered and a little bit of cheese just to make it more tasty. And then I take this ladle, and you want to fill it maybe 3/4 of the way. Not too much because you need to leave it some elevation space, if I can say that. There you go. To the oven. All right. Now this is when you have to be extremely gentle. You put it in the oven without almost talking. Close the oven door very slowly. And you see this guy here? Take it slowly. You see how much it has risen? There you go. Now the joy of soufflés is actually you have to eat it as soon as you take it out of the oven. So with the niddle, it's hot stuff, but as soon as I put it down, it has the tendency to deflate. So I will just put them like this. I see that you guys are all ready. Have a little spoon. Spoon
Thank you.
for you.
Thank you, chef.
All right, you ready for this? Good, huh?
So excellent.
You could taste the wine. It's incredible.
Great. The tarragon too.
Yep, the tarragon is actually probably the best herb to use for this. You can have this with a little glass of Gewürz, put your leg up. Wonderful. Everybody should try this. What I like about the crab and shrimp souffle is it's very nerve-wracking to start, but once you get the basic technique of getting the air into the egg whites, you have to make sure there's no air current coming in your house. You get all these points down in the bechamel sauce, and it's no mistakes anytime. You see how beautiful these oysters are? How about if I show you how to do oyster Rockefeller? That'd look good, eh? Okay, so for the oysters Rockefeller, we need a hot pan with a little bit of butter. In this bowl, I'm chopping a little garlic clove right here. Very easy. If you, sometimes you'll see inside the garlic, there's the germ that's a little bit green. You can take it out because it's better for digestion, but this one is actually perfect. So I'm just chopping this as thin as I can, just like that. Putting it right in. A little scallions. Thank you.
Chef.
All right, a little spinach.
There you go, chef.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now a little celery dices, just like that, finely cut. I'm going to try to get everything as almost the same size here. A little bit of lettuce that's just been chiffonade, some parsley, some breadcrumbs, and now I need to cook this, but not for a long time. I just need to wilt it. All right, wonderful. See, I don't have to cook, he's helping me here. Wonderful. So once this is wilted, you see it's starting a little bit. You see all the spinach is just being a little tired. If you can smell this, it's very powerful with the garlic. It'll be a beautiful combination with the oysters here. The heat of the oven will actually cook it. So I'm putting this back in the bowl. Let me show you, just follow me here. It smells so green. All right, anchovy paste. It's quite deadly if you put too much. I'm just putting a little squirt. That's actually lots. A little bit of cayenne pepper. That's it. And hey, couldn't be a French dish if you wouldn't add Pernod, right? So this you can be as generous as you want. This will bring a nice licorice taste to it. Oh, it smells delicious. Always have to try. There you go. This needs to cool, thanks.
You're welcome.
This needs to cool. It's cooled down. It's actually a very nice texture. You see there's just a little bit of liquid. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Now remember our oysters, if nobody actually ate them, we should be good to plate them in our little shells. So here's the oyster that you shucked already. You make it swim in its own liqueur, which is just the water that it came into. Just like that. And some of our vegetable mixture, you can put as much as you want. This will actually make the oyster very refreshing. Okay, now time for the breadcrumbs. This actually fills the cracks everywhere and seals it in. All right, the last thing, nice crispy bacon. Again, as much as you want. I'm a real bacon lover, so I put extra pieces on mine. You see? And that's it. A little complicated, but wait until you try it. It's worth it. So in the oven it goes, and we put this bed of salt just to, first of all, make a little butt for the oysters to sit on. And this actually distributes the heat perfectly for these. Oh, you smell that? Oh, it smells like the ocean. Here we go. I can't wait to try this. It's so sweet from the liqueur of the oysters. I don't care who invented oysters Rockefeller. I'm totally for it.
I like the smokiness with the bacon.
Oh my God,
Excellent.
it's so rich, it's delicious. Well guys, to a wonderful shellfish day. Gotta take advantage of our oceans, you know.
Cheers to you, chef.
Cheers, have a great day.